When the sun goes down, the stars come out. From deep in the heart of Texas, it's the Star at Night. Coming to you from the Cowboys facility at the Star in Frisco. With your hosts, Kelsey Charles and David Hellman.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Star at Night. I am Kelsey Charles, joined by David Hellman. Dave, the Dallas Cowboys face off with the Minnesota Vikings this weekend. Word on the street is there'll be pretty good running backs on the field. One of them at the moment in time is leading the league in rushing and total touchdowns. The other is leading the league at his position in fumbles. Dalvin is definitely cooking, and Zeke, I don't think he's doing much eating this season.
No, it's an unfortunate theme for the season. And look, I feel bad for Ezekiel Elliott. He doesn't have his quarterback. He doesn't have the offensive line that he's gotten used to playing with. But this matchup is just it very uncomfortably highlights what the best running back in the league looks like right now. And it's not Ezekiel Elliott, man. It's hard to look at what Dalvin Cook has accomplished this season and feel good about the return on investment that you're getting from Zeke right now. And it's one of several things that bum me out about where this Cowboys season is right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you because to me, I love Zeke. I'm a big fan of his work and what he's able to do for this team on the field. You can pretty easily expect a 1,200 to 1,500 yard season from him. That seems pretty standard and par for the course for this guy. And unfortunately, it just hasn't been the case this year. Even in 2017, where he missed several games, it feels like the progress he was able to put out on the field was better than the production that he's putting out this season. And I wonder if you can chalk it up to, obviously things are totally weird. They haven't had a chance to have, the training camps. We've talked about that a million times. Losing your quarterback, that's a pretty big deal. The offensive line for this team has been nothing short of decimated. I think they've had a different rotation every other game at least. So you have to keep in mind those elements and wonder if they make a difference. Not to mention the mental aspect, that really truly goes into playing this season. I just think it's a recipe for not success. And I hate it for him. I hate it for this team. I hate it for all of us. I'm sad about it.
Recipe for not success. I'm gonna file that away for my future talking points. I hear you, and I don't want to dog Zeke. I think people overreact a little bit to the long-term ramifications here. I think Zeke Elliott will be just fine when this offense is back looking closer to full strength next season. But it is a perfectly valid criticism that if you are playing on the size of a contract that Ezekiel Elliott is, you expect more, regardless of who's around you. And, all it takes is a quick look at what Dalvin Cook has done. I know, he's got Kirk Cousins. The Vikings have good receivers to take the pressure off of him. But the explosiveness is what bums me out. Like the explosiveness that Cook has and that Ezekiel Elliott really hasn't showcased this year. Dalvin Cook has long runs of 70, of 39, of 25. Ezekiel Elliott's longest run this season is 24 yards, and he fumbled at the end of that run. If that doesn't encapsulate his season perfectly, I don't know what does. The explosiveness just hasn't been there, and the ball security is a big problem. So if the Cowboys are going to have anything resembling a successful 7 games on the back end of this season, they need a lot more from him. And I wonder if he can pull it off without more help.
Yeah, his average, he's averaging 3.8 yards per attempt. And it's weird to see those types of stat lines come out from a guy like him. On the flip side, though, Dalvin is cooking. Yes, I am going to beat that into the ground because I love a good play on words. Humor me if you will.
And yet all you do is talk trash about my puns. My puns are terrible, but you're all about good wordplay when it favors you. Okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You're getting it. You're getting it. So Dalvin, on the other hand, is doing nothing short of a ton of damage to all the defenses he's facing. In the past 3 games alone, He's had 574 yards, 6 touchdowns. In a single game against the Packers this year, 226 scrimmage yards and 4 touchdowns. We've talked about it time and time again, Dave. This Dallas Cowboys defense has made very average running backs look more than average. How concerned should we be about what this guy can do to our team come this weekend?
So I'm going to take the optimism of last time out against Pittsburgh. They held the Steelers to 46 yards on 18 carries. And that's not a bad Pittsburgh rushing attack. James Conner is having a very solid season. Steelers typically run the ball very well, and they shut it down. So that's nice. On the other side, we've seen the Cleveland Browns, who run a very similar scheme, run for 307 yards. So I don't think the Cowboys are going to look as terrible as they did against the Browns, but they're going to be hard-pressed to play as well as they did against Pittsburgh. And I think, it's cliche, but that's going to be the story of the game, is how well they deal with this. I think, like I said, I think they will look better, but I have a hard time believing they're going to look as good as they did last time.
Well, let's just hope, for the sake of all of us and our sanity, that they do not let this team completely run away with the game. All right. So coming up next, we've got an interview with a guy who could potentially be taking some of the pressure off of Zeke and sharing some of that offensive load. Michael Gallup is joining us next.
Hey there, everybody. Kyle Yeomans here with DallasCowboys.com, and I encourage all of you Cowboys fans out there to check out Talking Cowboys. The podcast is every week live on the website and on all social platforms at 9:30 every weekday morning. We've got myself alongside Isaiah Stanback, who's actually won one of those during his playing career as a former Dallas Cowboy. He won it with the Giants, but we'll forgive him for that. We've also got Heckma Harrison along with Dallas Cowboys insider Rob Phillips. It's a ton of fun every weekday morning at 9:30. Check it out on DallasCowboys.com.
Hey y'all, welcome back to The Star at Night. I am Dave, she's Kelsey, and Kels, I love some shameless promotion. So this segment is brought to you by our title sponsor, Favor. So I'm just going to tell you what I did. I favored Jersey Mike's. Maybe the thing that I miss the most about traveling with the team is the free Jersey Mike's on the plane. So I figured I would, as a shout out to that. So in light of that, we've got Michael Gallup here on the show today. Caden, show us Michael Gallup, please. There he is. Michael, you still get to go on the plane. So do you do the Jersey Mike's, or what do you do? And if so, what is your favorite sandwich? Please let me know.
Hard-hitting questions for you.
I think the last time I got Jersey Mike's was my rookie year. I haven't gotten it recently. I normally just get my own food now, but I always like the Italian sub.
Yes. Okay.
It's a good choice.
Big cold cuts guy. I like it. Wait. So all right. Well, what do you eat now? Like on a regular, Saturday afternoon on your way to the plane? Like what are you eating before you hop on the flight?
Is it the same thing every time? Like do you have an actual regiment like before every away game?
No, I wouldn't say that. I like to get Popeyes. Definitely Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is so good. And then, we always get wings as well too. So I don't know. It just kind of varies what you're feeling that day. But for me, most of the time it's Chick-fil-A.
I love that. All right. So big shout out to Favor again for delivering this interview and episode here today. I just wanted to kind of dive in because it's been such a weird season. Obviously, we would typically be doing this in person, but being that we're in a pandemic, things have obviously changed. What's it been like for you playing in such a weird time this season? I mean, obviously the protocols are so different. There's not face-to-face anymore. We just mentioned the whole concept of, the team traveling still, but no one else really. And how different has it really been for you?
I mean, it just kind of feels like, everybody's just isolated. It's weird. I would definitely say it's weird, but you kind of get used to it now. Everybody's just in their own routine to where it's just nobody's here. So, I'm just go about my business. But, and then you're always doing the over the computer or over the phone interviews, so you get used to it. But it's been different this year. It's been different.
I imagine. I'd imagine.
So along that same line, typically the bye week means you can go home and visit your family. Some guys like to go to Vegas or Florida or wherever. Obviously, you can't do that this year. So what did the bye week look like? I got to imagine it was more relaxing than a normal one or a usual one,
Yeah, everybody. It was a stay vacay. That's the best you could put it. Stay vacay. It was you stayed at home. Couldn't It was really just this was a legit. You relaxed. That's what you were supposed to do. You just relax. You couldn't go anywhere. Couldn't do anything. Had to come up here every day for COVID. And so yeah, it was. It wasn't bad though. I enjoyed it. I was here for it, but yeah, it was just kind of boring in a way.
There's been a lot of talk about the season in general. Obviously, lots of changes have been going on, and the fact that you got a new head coach in here, you added another weapon to your offensive arsenal with CeeDee Lamb. You mean, despite the status of this team and their record, what has it been like for you to be a part of such a high-powered offense and the potential that you guys can truly bring to the table?
Oh, I mean, we definitely know what we can do. It's obviously been a tough year, with injuries and everything like that. But we still know what we have in this room, in this building, and it's in a way. I know we haven't been winning or anything like that, but it's still been a fun year just because everybody's being challenged right now. You play this game to face adversity, get challenged, trying to be the best, but when it actually comes at you, what are you going to do about it? So I definitely say that it's been a good year to kind of think about what you need to do instead of what we actually are doing. It's just been different. Even though we have the explosive players, we have all the players in here, but they're not all being used right now. It's just been a tough go, but I still look at it as a positive. At least I have to.
I thought, kind of along the same lines, I thought CD said something really, I thought was really impressive a couple weeks ago. It was basically he's played with all these great quarterbacks over his career, and you were obviously the man at Colorado State. You come here, you've got Dak, and now you're playing with with the new Jared Gill, and maybe you're not getting the ball as reliably as you're used to. And that feels like a mental challenge of saying okay, I've still got to stay engaged. I've still got to do my thing, even if I'm not seeing the looks that I'm used to. And I mean, how challenging is that to just kind of stay on your game, even if you're not getting the looks that you're used to, with Dak?
I mean, that's really that's one of the big things I had to tell CD. When we played against Washington, that was really his first, game that it just didn't click for him. And I asked him on the sideline, I was like, when was the last time you had a bad game? And he honestly couldn't tell me. He looked me dead in my eyes and he was like, I can't remember, MG. And I'm just like, yeah, this is the league. It's obviously a little bit tougher, and you knew that coming in, but you're not always going to have those games anymore. It's not, it's not going to come as easy like that. So I understand what he's saying, but I mean, you just got to be mentally strong in those situations, just because your team looks up to you, and the wide receivers, we take on that role as if we make the offense go. We have a lot more of the explosive plays. We get us out of sticky situations. So being a wide receiver, I mean, you got to be mentally strong, especially if you do drop a pass, you got to come back and get the next one. So it's definitely tough, but he's a good cat. He's gonna bounce back as per usual. So I'm not too worried about.
So I want to get your thoughts, because you talked a lot about mentality, and I think that's really admirable. And I obviously the approach I think that you need to be taking in light of everything, A, in the world that's going on, and B, with the team. But what about do you have any words you'd say for the fan base? Because I think obviously you guys are in the mix, and you have you're locked in on really what you're going to try and attack. But for them, I think, it's just been a lot to take in, just the fact of everything that's going on. What would you have to say to them in light of just the current state of affairs and heading into the second part of the season?
I mean, for the most part, our fans, they stick by us. Of course, it's it's been a tough go, but just for the fans, it's like the best I can tell you is keep rooting, keep believing, because we're striving for greatness right now. Everybody is. We came out to practice today, and everybody was just hyped, ready to get back into it, ready to show what we can do. So just stick with us, okay? Just hang in there. We're going to be fine. We're going to make a little run right here, try to get some excitement going. So that's what I got for the fans.
Awesome.
I don't think I could say it any better than that. Big play, Michael Gallup. We appreciate your time, man. Thank you to Favor for setting it up. Kelsey and I will be right back after this.
Hi guys, Mickey Spagnola here, and if you want the best analysis on the Dallas Cowboys during the season, join us every day during the week on Mix Shots. We come on at 1:30 on DallasCowboys.com and all the other Dallas Cowboy platforms. I'm on there every day along with Bill Jones and former Cowboys cornerback Everson Walls, who gives us a unique perspective on the team, having played this game and having led this team in interceptions for several years. So don't forget, it's Mix Shots daily, 1:30 on DallasCowboys.com.
All right, Dave. So word on the street is that New York is having some issues, and no, not on the field. Some familiar faces. We're making headlines. Mark Colombo. You may have known him as the former Cowboys player, and then also he was in scouting for us, then offensive line coach under Jason Garrett. When Jason Garrett went to New York, it was very likely that some guys would go with him, and Colombo was one of them. Well, he is no longer a part of the equation because of an apparent incident. Reports are that maybe things got a little handsy in the workplace, if you will, with some announcements on some personnel changes and help in Colombo's role came along. I guess he wasn't too thrilled with that. It's still to be determined on if true physicality came into play, but it kind of got me thinking. Dave,
did it?
Yes, it did. It did. We're going to go ahead and choose our fighters because I would actually love to have had Colombo on my side of the ring. But Colombo aside, you got to pick a Cowboys coach. Who is your best UFC fighter?
The irony of this entire thing is, like, I'm not kidding. For years, when I used to see Mark Colombo here at work, I would be like, I would never want to get on that man's bad side. He's like 6'8". His reach is incredible. Like, he looks like he just knows how to mess you up.
He looks like Steve Austin a little bit.
He definitely has some like broken skull, badass wrestler, boxer to him. He's from Boston. Yep. So yeah. So obviously I can't take him because he was busy doing his thing in New York, which, all right, just to derail this real, like, whether it was a fight or an argument or whatever, like, I'm just imagining Jason Garrett's reaction to that. Like, Jason Garrett peeks his head out the office to see what's going on. He's just like, what on earth is happening? Like, I can't even imagine JG's reaction to that. But
I feel like he probably got in the middle and was, like, trying to get them apart. Like, I would imagine. I think so. I think he was in public is way different than JG off the field. 100%. I'm sorry.
JG is like, I didn't sign up for this. Why? What are you doing? I brought you here. Like, come on, man. No, yeah, but maybe. Listen, give me Leon Lett, baby. All right. Like I said, like, reach is everything. I need his name's Big Cat. His name is Big Cat. He's 6'6", 23 sacks at the NFL level. For the team in the 90s? Yeah. No, please, tell me why.
Big Cat wouldn't even hurt a fly. Like, I love this for you. And yes, is he capable in terms of, like, physicality and, like, what he looks like and his body strength? But literally, you could not pick a nicer human being. I don't even think he would probably be upset if he forgot to hold the door open for you, let alone knock someone out. Maybe if you came for his family or something like really personal, then I would side with you. But you really stoke the fire.
Have you ever heard of a fight or flight response? Like, his nickname is Big Cat. Have you ever seen a video of like a mama cat like defending her young? Like, that's what they do. Like, do not poke the bear. Do not poke the bear. That's all I'm saying.
Do not poke the cat.
What? What's your better answer?
Keith O'Quinn. Hello. Like, the man literally does like bodybuilding on the side. He trains for this. Like, he basically already is in UFC fighter shape. Like, whether or not he's a current coach right now or not, he's still technically, like, we're gonna group him in with the coaching staff because he's in scouting.
He still works here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna go Keith O'Quinn. He might be in like a different weight class, but he's given
up like six inches or more to the Big Cat. Like, reach is everything, man. Reach is everything. That's why you'll never see me get in a fight in my life.
That's not how this works. That's not how this works.
What?
You obviously don't cover the UFC.
First of all, no, I don't. Like, I am a lover and not a fighter, so I would never. But if we're talking about like a battle royale or like a Royal Rumble among the Cowboys staff, Big Cat stands alone. That's all I'm saying. It's fine if you disagree.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and win this right now. Charles Haley works part-time for the Dallas Cowboys.
No.
Yes, they've got him as a contractor. That counts.
No.
He's been a former player coach. Yes, it does.
That doesn't.
DeMarcus Ware. Nope.
I was gonna say,
I win.
In that case, DeMarcus Ware comes.
Everyone. Great show. Great episode. Hayden, just go ahead and fade to black because we already know that
you just make up the rules as you go along. Like, you don't play fair. You don't use any logical consistency. And
Dave, you should know this.
You know what?
It's because you go to a great university. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So, I just subscribe to those policies.
Now
every now and then.
I can get behind. Well, you know what? Hey, thanks for watching The Star at Night. Even though
we have
Kelsey
morals, we promise.
did her best to derail the whole thing, but you know what, Kels? Here's hoping that the Cowboys give the Vikings their best punch in Minneapolis this weekend. But until then,
that was awful.
I hate myself, so it's fine. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching the show. Bye.